Hey guys, thank you so much for purchasing this Sylenth Masterclass tutorial course. I am Echo Sowers, and I'll literally be showing you every knob, feature, inside of Sylenth, and hopefully by the end of this video tutorial, you will be extremely comfortable using Sylenth to make a wide range of sounds. So this tutorial is going to be broken up into multiple parts. This first video is going to be the intro, and then I'm going to cover kind of the brains of Sylenth, this menu screen. So if you're familiar with that already, or you want to just jump ahead and get right into the nitty-gritty, go to video 2. I'll be covering the oscillator section and amp sections in Sylenth, as well as some just general terms and ideals for subtractive synthesis. So that being said, I'm going to jump right into it. So Sylenth is a subtractive synthesizer, and this is its GUI, its graphical user interface. It's broken up into 2 pages, and each page will contain this little, it's like a little LCD screen equivalent. So that is universal. So if you set up anything in here, it will remain the same for both part A and part B of any sound. So you'll notice working top down, there'll be these numbers 1, 2, 3, and 4. Well, these are your factory banks. There are 4 of them, and each bank contains 128 sounds. And just a little tidbit of useless knowledge, you might be, if you're wondering why 128, you might see that a lot with synthesizer preset packs as well. It goes back to, I believe, General MIDI protocols, or GM as they're called. I think it was something to do with they could only define instrument sounds for each of the 128 possible program numbers in MIDI protocols. So it kind of stuck when we hit this digital world. So that's why. So a lot of the sound sets for Sylenth are 128 presets as well. So this is where you'll load up different banks. So this purple box right here is where you'll find your different presets. And the cool thing about Sylenth is some of the stock factory presets are pretty good. There are a lot of third-party libraries out there that you can buy and get more current and contemporary sounds. And I'll show you how to load one of those up real quick. So you have, like I said, 4 of those. You can load up different banks in each of them and work from different banks. This little dot right here is very, very important. So let's say I edit this sound and I want to save it. If I click on menu, you'll see that I have load preset, save preset, load bank, save bank, export bank. Let's say I just want to save this preset. Let's say I made some cool changes and I liked it. So I'm going to call this lead ADSR tut, right, for this tutorial. Save it to my desktop. And now when I pull it back up, if I go to menu and I go to load preset, go to my desktop or wherever I saved it, here it is right here. You'll notice that it says lead cello, so it still says the same thing from the bank. Well, what you have to do to rename it permanently is click on that little dot in the purplish blue screen, and you'll type in lead ADSR. You'll type in the name and then save it. So it'll ask me to resave, hit yes. And now once I go to load preset again and I pull that preset back into Sylenth, it'll say whatever I named it to. So that is how you load and save presets. Most of the time, though, you're going to be loading and saving into a bank format. A bank is a collection of sounds. It can be 10 sounds, 15 sounds, or the maximum allotment of 128. Let's load a bank here in our second bank. So I'm going to go to menu, and I'm going to select load bank. I'm going to select one of my own sound sets. I know it's shameless, but stick with me. All right, so I made for the sound set, it's just a good way to show you because some sound sets only include the banks. I included the presets just in case someone only wanted to open presets and this bank. So presets end with the prefix of .fxp for Sylenth, and they end with .fxb for the banks. So I'm going to select that and click open. So now here is the bank of the sound set called Future EDM. So let's load up a sound real quick. All right, there's kind of an animal sounding lead that we're probably all super sick of by now. Let's say, let's keep going down this list. Let's say you make changes to about like 10 of these sounds and you're producing a song or whatever, and you want to export or save the bank. You can resave it, and it's really cool because then you can take commercially released sound sets and make them your own and, you know, tweak presets that you need to for your songs and productions and then save it. Makes it really easy to recall sounds. So this confused me when I got Sylenth. I thought, oh, cool, I can copy a preset, load up a blank instance of Sylenth, and paste it over. That doesn't work, and I don't know if that doesn't work because I'm using a VST or audio unit wrapper 32 lives because Sylenth has not been updated to 64-bit. Don't even get me started on that. But you can still use it in Logic and Ableton 9 using a program like 32 lives. So what this actually does, and I found out why it exists in Sylenth. So let me pull up a different sound. All right, so I'm gonna turn that release down. So let's say I want to use this I like it as a starting point for sound in my production, but I want to change some parameters. All right, so I'm gonna turn that down because I made it louder. So let's say I made those changes, right? I just changed sound 44 in the sound set, the bank that we loaded, Future EDM. Now, if I arrow down to the next sound, here's a different sound. Now, if I go back to that backing saw that we just edited, and I didn't save it, mind you, I just left it, it's going to bring up the sound that we edited. It doesn't go back to the initial sound. And that's why that copy thing exists. So let's go to 45. And let's say I'm like, okay, I really like this as a starting point. Okay, but let's say I want to edit it. Well, what you can do is just go to Menu and hit Copy Preset. Let me do that again because I think I missed it. So Copy Preset. And now I can edit it. Okay, so now it's different. Okay, so let's say I start to play my track and I don't like it. Well, now you can just go to Menu, Paste Preset, and it's back to the actual initial preset that was in the bank and how it was saved. Then you have this delete preset. Let's say you were making your own bank and you wanted to delete it, you could do that. And this initial init preset, this is the sound that most sound designers will use when they're creating brand new sounds. It's just a standard boring saw wave. And then you have this randomized preset, which is kind of fun. So let me pull up one of the actual sounds from the sound set. So then if I go to Menu and I hit randomize preset, see it changed a bunch of stuff. It actually got really, really crazy. That's a really weird sound. So it's one of those things that's like a really cool idea. It just doesn't work that well. I mean, that sound's still playing and I stopped touching it. So it's just randomly editing parts about that sound. So it's not the most musical of things, so I don't use it a whole lot. And then you have reset preset, which is a cool feature. So let me pull up a different sound. All right, so let's say I made some edits and I changed that. And then I wanted to go back to it. I can just go to reset preset and it goes back to how the sound was. So there's two ways where you can get back to the initial sound. And then you have register, check for updates and about, which you guys should already have done and know about if you have registered sound successfully. So the next thing we have here are all these effects. I'm not going to cover them in part one of the video. There's a whole two-parter video section in this tutorial covering the effects section because they are in depth. So that is basically where you can select effects though. So just know that is where you turn on your global effects and they are consistent. So see if I select all of these and I toggle back between part A and part B, they stay toggled. So it is a universal effects section. So that concludes part one of this Sylenth Masterclass tutorial video. I will see you in part two where we'll be talking about the oscillators and amp envelopes. See you there.